Warning, the podcast you're about to hear has a unique conservative perspective and may be politically incorrect, containing some controversy in its message. This episode may speak out against liberalism, socialism, the dark state, and religious organizations. It is possible that evil in politics, education, law, society, and religion will be discussed and exposed. However, we believe this podcast adds truth and value to a mature, disenfranchised audience who may be tired of apostate religions and wicked world systems. Listeners who are easily offended, overly sensitive, or have progressive leanings sympathetic to the topics we expose should be forewarned not to listen any further. We thank both those who choose to listen as well as those who choose not to listen. You've been warned. And now, let us get on with the show.
Well, I'm one of those who choose not to listen. Thank you very much.
That's hateful.
It's hateful, but, well, I'm not going to listen to the Free Friday because they're mean to people. Hello, Ms. KAPOW.
Well, hello.
Hello.
How's it going?
I'm blessed.
Blessed.
Just blessed.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Blessed beyond measure.
All right. Today's date is September 28th, 2018, and this is Freedom Friday.
There you go. We're going to talk about some weird stuff today like we always talk about. And I'm trying not to get too... Talk about weird people in public libraries. We're going to talk about weird people in Russia who do weird things to men on trains. And a weird situation here in America with babies being born. And then we're going to talk about the increase in uptick in earthquake activity. Excuse me. Because Jesus says in the last, right before his coming, one of the signs that you see, the fig tree generation, the things you see is a variety of earthquakes all over the place. So he was looking for that uptick. And of course, there's an uptick in pillars of fire too, in volcanic activity all over the place. And right now, I think we still have a week or two of hurricane season.
Yep.
And those guys are going pretty good. A couple more forming out there. In fact, one, I forget its name, out in the Pacific is the model showing it forming, coming up through Mexico and Baja California. And it's like forming, they're expecting it to be like a Cat 3. But when it hits and it goes through Mexico, it's going to go through Phoenix. Of course, it won't be a Cat 3. It'll be a tropical storm. It'll be a storm coming through. But it's supposed to dump a bunch of water in the Arizona area, Phoenix, Flagstaff, Prescott, up in that area. And it looks like when we look at the models that because as the crow flies, we're not, that far from Phoenix. We're just, the Grand Canyon separates us where we're at. We're on the rim of the Grand Canyon. And it looks like here in southern Nevada that we would get a little bit of that rain and that moisture also. Mm-hmm. We have that coming up. Then there's another piece of Florence that broke off after hitting the Carolinas and then going up. It broke off, but it formed again under a new name, or if it does form into a tropical storm, it will be given the name Michael. It'll be Tropical Storm Michael if it does form. We're already at the M's already.
I know.
We're at the M's. And if that forms, the models are showing it making the same track that Florence did. Mm-hmm. So
not good.
No,
in
the Carolinas, they've still got the major problems with the flooding, and folks, man, it's global. The waters are overflowing everywhere. Mm-hmm. World of Signs is one of the channels to watch. There's several out there.
Floods in Venezuela.
Oh, horrible.
India. Yeah, a lot of places.
Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
Major floods. What's the other one we watch? End Time Signs.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Something like that. There's several people out there that put out the videos. Well, one of the things I like about World of Signs is that he does something every day and a half. Yeah. And it's like, they're like 10 to 15 minute long videos of all the stuff that's going on in climate.
And there are no repeats. It's not we've seen this one already.
Absolutely. Good point. Yeah, no repeat. That's all new stuff. And you're like, wow. One of the things that we notice is that these floods look the same globally where you're at. And they're getting more and more intense. Mm-hmm. Unbelievable, the earth changes. And of course, we are in a solar minimum cycle, which is called...
What does that mean, Brother Kappa?
We're in a grand solar minimum. Well, we talked about it a couple of Mondays ago. So go listen to that show, Mr. Powell. Get caught up. But the sun basically is going quiet, and it has been quiet now for a large cycle. And as it does that, you have an increase in volcanoes. You have a increase in earthquake. You have an increase in flooding and storms and tornadoes and all the bad stuff that comes on mankind. Snow. This winter is going to be a mother. Mm-hmm. People. The models show Canada, by the end of this week and the next 7 days, like 90% covered in snow.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. Wow. 90% of the country is going to be covered in snow. Then that snow is going southward, downward to the United States, all the way to Colorado. Apparently, 2 nights ago, Colorado already dipped to 37 degrees. Mm. That's pretty cold. It's going to be a cold winter. And the snow has been increasing over the last couple of years, and then it's predicted that this year is going to break all those records.
Yikes.
So
glad I got my boots.
Yeah.
I didn't think I'd ever need my boots again.
Yeah, you might need them. Of course, out here, it's always hot, so, we'll see.
Yeah, but you never know.
I know. Like last night, we went to go walk the dogs at 8:30 at night. It's still 91 degrees out here, folks, at night.
Cool 91.
Cool 91. So, yeah. Our Mesquite 91's like everybody else's, mall 75. We're used to 91 is cool to us. So it's hot here all the time. It's in the desert. We live in the desert. And, but the earth is rocking. There's cracks happening. There's sinkholes. There's so many strange things going on in the natural world. It's unbelievable. The supernatural's being mixed with the natural here. Weird animals are popping up that you never heard of. Historic monuments you never heard of are just popping up. The anatomy of the body is changing. There's different stuff going. It's the most bizarre time. This is like,
seriously.
This is like beyond science fiction. It's like we're actually living this very, very real strange time where time itself is collapsing on itself. It's just, I don't understand it all, but it's very weird. And no one quite really knows what's going on. I mean, a lot of people believe it's part of the Great Delusion that God himself sends. Other people think it, it's of Satan, and, CERN's doing some of the stuff. And certainly they're doing some things. And, man and fallen angels, in cahoots are doing a lot of this stuff. But you got to realize, God's going to bring the judgment, and he's taking it all, and it's going to fold up like a big ugly garment, And I do believe we're right around the corner. We're seeing that, and I'm not just talking politically and things like that. I'm talking about, you just look at the earth changes around you. Mm-hmm. It's incredible, absolutely incredible to follow some of this stuff and what's going on. Just when I get to the point, I don't want to use the word complacent, but just when I get to the point of, well, tomorrow or this day or this day or this day or next week, I'm going to make this plan. Yeah. And I'm going to do this and do this and this. Just when I get to that point of like, I'm going to go do this and this and live life and blah, blah, blah. I'll see one of these videos of what's going on globally on the earth. And I usually do it right before I go to bed. And I'll tell you what, it changes your whole perspective of what you're going to do tomorrow. Because you don't know what's coming your way. And it's just weird stuff happening all the time. And, you might live at a place where it's safe right now, and then tomorrow it's not. But let me tell you, let me tell you this. And I firmly know this. If you're a follower of Jesus Christ, if you have faith in Messiah as your Redeemer, as your Savior, and I'm not talking religion, I'm not talking church, I'm not talking the religion of Christianity, I'm talking a personal relationship with God the Father through his Son, through God made flesh.
Amen.
Okay, and you know what I'm talking about. If you've done that and you're under that umbrella and you're living that life and you living that sanctified life and you allowed him to change and be changing your character in his glorious image, you are not appointed to wrath. You, with your eyes only, that scripture, Ms.
91?
Psalm 91.
Psalm 91.
With your eyes only will you see the wicked falling around you. You'll see the demise and the destruction of everything around you with your eyes. You're going to see it. You're going to experience it. But God's going to sustain you. You got to remember, Noah was taken out. He's still, like Ms. KAPOW said last week, he was still on the ark. He was on that ark for a year, man. The dark waters. So he still experienced everything that was happening, but
in the safety of the ark.
In the safety. God rescued him. God had his hand on him. God remembered Noah.
Yeah.
And the same thing with Lot and his family. They experienced all that evil. It says that every day his righteous soul was vexed. Just like yours are. Your righteous souls are vexed. And he was taken out right before that destruction. It is precedent. Christ himself says, as in the days of Noah, it will be right before his turn. Plus, there's other scriptures that he says, he sends his angels to gather his elect from the four corners of heaven and all over the place. You don't have to worry about your bug out kit and living in a cave and coming out and trying to, survive the nuclear holocaust or, the sunspot that makes the grid go down globally.
That's right.
It turned us into the Stone Age again. You don't have to worry about that. You're going to be taken out of here. All right?
Because
and that's the good news.
That trusts in the Lord. You're
that's
blessed.
Right. That's right. So enough preaching. Give us the scripture and we'll talk about these stories.
All right. Let me see. Okay, 2 Kings 1-16 is about King Manasseh, who was 12 years old when he began to reign, and reigned 55 years in Jerusalem. And his mother's name was Hephzibah. And he did that which was evil in the sight of the Lord, after the abominations of the heathen, whom the Lord cast out before the children of Israel. For he built up again the high places which Hezekiah his father had destroyed, and he reared up altars for Baal, and made a grove, as did Ahab king of Israel, and worshipped all the hosts of heaven, and served them. And he built altars in the house of the Lord, of which the Lord said, In Jerusalem will I put my name. And he built altars for all the hosts of heaven in the two courts of the house of the Lord. And he made his son pass through the fire, and observed times, and used enchantments, and dealt with familiar spirits and wizards. And he brought much wickedness in the sight of the Lord, to provoke him to anger. And he set a graven image of the grove that he had made in the house, of which the Lord said to David and to Solomon his son, In this house and in Jerusalem, which I have chosen out of all tribes of Israel, will I put my name forever. Neither will I make the feet of Israel move any more out of the land which I gave their fathers, only if they will observe to do according to all that I have commanded them, and according to all the law that my servant Moses commanded them. But they hearkened not, and Manasseh seduced them to do more evil than did the nations whom the Lord destroyed before the children of Israel. And the Lord spake by his servants the prophets, saying, Because Manasseh king of Judah hath done these abominations, and hath done wickedly above all that the Amorites did, which were before him, and hath made Judah also to sin with his idols. Therefore thus saith the Lord God of Israel, Behold, I am bringing such evil upon Jerusalem and Judah, that whosoever heareth of it, both his ears shall tingle. And I will stretch over Jerusalem the line of Samaria, and the plummet of the house of Ahab. And I will wipe Jerusalem as a man wipeth a dish, wiping it and turning it upside down. And I will forsake the remnant of mine inheritance, and deliver them into the hand of their enemies. And they shall become a prey and a spoil to all their enemies, because they have done that which was evil in my sight, and have provoked me to anger, since the day their fathers came forth out of Egypt, even unto this day. And moreover, Manasseh shed innocent blood very much, till he had filled Jerusalem from one end to another, beside his sin wherewith he made Judah to sin, doing that which was evil in the sight of the Lord.
Well, and we learn a lot from the example of ancient Israel, because that's what Paul says. They're there as our example. So if we're grafted in to Israel and we become part of that branch, Paul says, don't think that you can't be cut off.
Yeah.
Don't get cocky, right?
Yep.
Thank you, Mr. KAPOW, for that. It's not commercial time yet, but I just want to say one thing before we get started. Times End, the musical live streaming, downloadable, whatever it is available. There's 9 songs available everywhere digitally. You can get it on Spotify, stream it, I believe, Pandora, Deezer, whatever you listen to, it's all over the place. It's just all over the place. iTunes, Google, so it's distributed everywhere. Just type in Mesquite Cafe, CAFE. Don't put the little accent on it. Mesquite Cafe, and it'll show up. Even on YouTube, there's 2 or 3 videos there with the songs, and then, of course, it's there. So it's everywhere. But I wasn't going to put out a physical CD because physical CDs cost money normally, and then you have to make them and then have them available and ship them out, and it's just something I don't want to do. But through Amazon, with the same process that we produce our paperback books, I was able to put Times In on CD, a physical CD. So those of you who still have a CD player in your car or in your home, or still prefer a physical CD, they are available on Amazon for $9.99. And if you're a Prime member, that's free shipping. I tested the process, and I ordered a CD, and it was in my mailbox within 2 days. So, and that's me coughing. Okay. So there. Anyway, so if you want a physical CD, it is available on Amazon. And if you're a Prime member, free shipping, $9.99. Super fast. You'll get it in your mailbox. Play it in your car. Put your Wayfarers on. Take the top down. Light a big stogie and go to the Sonic and get a burger listening to 1133 Blues.
Which is interesting because this CD has 9 songs, and 9 is the number of destruction, right?
Yeah.
And all the songs are about destruction.
They are.
And times.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
It's very uplifting. No, it's just truthful. That's what's going on. Absolutely. We got more coming your way. We are together, Ms. KAPOW. You remember when Hillary ran for president, and she's her thing was stronger together. Stronger together. I'm with her. Well, we are together is the new slogan, and it's drag queens. Now, this is what's sad about this story. Drag queens draw standing room only
That is scary
crowd
and sad.
at Wichita Library. That's sad.
Mm-hmm.
That's sad for the people in Wichita. The people in Wichita, that's a sad statement about them.
Mm-hmm.
It really is. I know they can't stop their county library, their public library from doing this nonsense, but they certainly don't have to participate in it.
Exactly.
And you certainly don't have to bring your kids to it. Mm-hmm. But the fact that it was packed, standing room only, the staff had to get extra chairs to see grown men dress like women and pretend they're women and put on a show, and they call themselves drag queens for your children under the guise of diversity.
Yep.
If you want to teach your kids diversity, if you have a little kid and you want to teach them diversity, you put them in the car and you drive them to your nearest ghetto. Every major city has a ghetto. And you drive through the ghetto. Why don't you park your car and get out and walk around in the ghetto? Mm-hmm. Talk to a few drug dealers on the corner. Why don't you talk to some prostitutes? Why don't you? Well, how about the guy with the needle in his arm? Mm-hmm. Why don't you go there? Take your kid there, talk to them, and let them tell you what it's like to live that way. You want to see diversity in America. Why don't you do the real thing instead of this phony BS?
Because it's not sexy enough, Jeff.
It's not sexy enough, and the other one is just not safe. Right?
Yeah.
So it's hypocritical.
This isn't safe either.
America has a bunch of underbellies you can see. You want to see somebody else's lifestyle? There's a lot of other places you can go if you want to see diversity.
Yeah.
You know? Come on. We are together. Drag queens draw standing room crowd at Wichita Library. What happened to Kansas? Kansas used to be like...
It isn't Kansas anymore.
Here's the story. Here is the story. This thing calls itself Divinity Masters. And to me, that's a mockery, right? Because there's people who have a master's degree in divinity, the divinity degree. Divinity Masters. It's a dude. That's a dude dressed in a red velvet gown, sparkly jewelry, white painted fingernails. And this thing, the story keeps calling it a she, but it's not a she, and it doesn't claim to be a she. It claims to be a man dressed in drag. Mm-hmm. So get off this weird stupidity. It's so annoying, this agenda. It's one of the more annoying agendas out there. And so this thing decides to read a book called Red, a crayon story. You know why? Because Red's, it's different. It's a crayon story. Mm-hmm. It's the Wichita Public Library. And she chose that story because of its message. And I read it. So it picked the book because it had a lot to tell people about what it's like to sometimes feel like you don't fit in. Well, you think because you're an ugly man dressed like an ugly woman, you might not fit in? You think that could be the issue? I mean, I'm just saying. You think that could be a little bit of the problem?
See, kids were always afraid of clowns. At least I know I was. I didn't like clowns. This looks like a big clown.
Yeah.
And it would scare me.
Yeah, because it's clearly a man dressed in drag. It's not even trying to pretend. Mm-mm. You know, it's not even a transgender thing, which is its own mental illness. Yeah. So this thing says, I picked a book because sometimes, the story is sometimes you don't fit in, or that doesn't quite make sense to be who other people tell you to be. Like a man? But once you find your way, it feels really good. Does it? You know what the suicide rate is among transgender people?
Yeah.
Could you imagine how the alcohol and drug rate among these drag queens?
Yep.
What it's like? The diseases they have? The lifestyle they have? You're happy?
Because it's all confusion.
Well, this thing, his name is Brad Thomason.
Thomason.
He's a dude named Brad.
Yep.
And he's a drag queen. He was one of 3 drag queens who participated in the Say Yes to Reading. Mm-hmm. Yes to Reading. It was a story hour, and it drew standing room only to the downtown branch library on a Tuesday evening.
Wow.
Wichita, what the hell happened to you? When did all the libtards move to Wichita, Kansas?
Yeah, I know, right?
My goodness. And when a tornado comes and tears up your town, you're like, why did God do this? You're going to wonder why. You're going to wonder why.
It says that these library officials, that they scheduled the event to diversify program offerings and to appeal to groups who may not be active users of the library. Yes. Sarah Dixon, who is the director of adult programs for the library, said, "The public library has always been a free space that welcomes everyone. And in that spirit, we are interested in providing programming that remains inclusive and welcoming."
Wow. Well, like I said, why don't they have go out there and get the gang member, who lives the real gang lifestyle, and have them come and speak, and then invite all their gang friends over there if you want to include them. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, here's what's sad: families and people of all ages packed the library conference room. The employees had to get extra chairs.
Wow.
At first, it was promoted for adult audiences. It was held in a private conference room, but the participants noted that ahead of time it would be family friendly and designed for all ages. So it's similar to that drag queen story hour that they do to kids.
Yes.
That began in Gay Francisco in 2015. And it was similar to that. But this time, it was to talk to adults, but you could bring your kids. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So now, they don't have to, the city here, Wichita doesn't have to deal with those screaming parents saying, "Hey, what are you doing to our kids?" Because they're saying, well, it's not for kids, it's for adults. Right?
That's right.
Men who dress in elaborate female makeup, they're drags. So about a half a dozen people stood outside the library and they did protest. These were the normal people. These people had a brain. Mm-hmm. One sign said, "God won't change your chromosomes." Another said, "Free will is a satanic lie." Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It was kind of a weird thing to say, but I get their point. They're protesting this because it's not right.
That's right.
But Holly Byers, she's a Wichita mom. Holly's a brain surgeon, by the way. She's a brain surgeon.
She has a 4-year-old daughter.
A 4-year-old daughter named Quinn. So I wonder if her daughter thinks it's a boy. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Quinn. Well, Holly Byers, the brain surgeon, took this her kid to the story time because it encouraged tolerance and acceptance.
Mm-hmm. She said that, "I just thought this was a wonderful opportunity to expose my daughter to a wider community. It's great for people to realize that this isn't sensational. It's fabulous, but it's not sensational. It's not abnormal, and it's just another opportunity to help children learn more about the world."
What a bunch of lies. Like I said, it is sensational. It's not fabulous. It is a lie. It is abnormal for men to dress like women. And what a hypocrite. If you want your children to learn more about the world, like I said, take them to the ghetto. Hey, you don't even have to go to the ghetto. Why don't you just take them to like the carniceria? Take them to a Mexican meat market, a Mexican grocery store, and let them look around and talk to people there about the different foods and different stuff from another country. How they live. You want to get your kids diversified. Why you got to have a man dressed like a woman? Why you got to bring him? Why you got to bring perversion into it? Right? Mm-hmm. Because they're not right in the head. They're not right in the head. Well, anyway, the story goes on and goes on, and how these weird men dressed like women read to these people these different stories that showed how you could be different. Yeah. And after the stories, the drag queens posed for photographs. They chatted with people. This 5-year-old kid named Dimitri asked his mother, "Is Starla a boy or a girl?" He's 5 years old. He's going, "What the hell?" And the mother says, "He's a boy who likes to dress like a girl." His mother answered with a smile. And the little 5-year-old boy said, "I thought the stories were beautiful and great." Really? Oh,
Wow.
So, yeah. Well, there's a few people out there protesting. Good for them. But it was a packed house.
And see, they don't really get a voice either.
No, they don't. Well, yeah, they only mentioned the 2 signs that they had.
Yeah.
They kind of made them sound stupid. And then, of course, they had to throw God in there, and blah, 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 blah. Unbelievable. That's the world we live in. That's why, even if it wasn't collapsing, and it is physically, it's time's ending, this society wouldn't have a shot anyway. And when you start looking at the grand solar minimums, when these things happen, they're the collapse of society. Civilizations collapse. The Roman civilization collapsed. Other before it's all scientifically laid out. So even if it wasn't in the time, this civilization, this as we know it globally, is going to collapse.
Yeah.
Because all this is not going to matter when they can't eat, because there's not going to be any more food. Because when all that snow, that 90% that's blanketing Canada and this winter that we're going to have here, eventually, not within the next month or the next 2 months, but eventually, as we get into 2019, everybody listening to me, you're going to feel it in your wallet.
Yeah.
You're going to feel food prices go up because, well, look at Carolinas. Will they lose 5 million pigs? Millions of chickens?
And beef.
And
cattle.
Yeah. You don't think, well, that's just for that state? You don't think that's going to affect America? There's farmers in Canada that were just about to harvest their crops, like this week, and there was early snow came. It wasn't even fall had been just 1 day or 2 days. Snow already came and ruined the crops.
Yep.
That's going to affect people. It's going to affect Canada. It's going to affect us. It's going to affect you in the pocketbook. You're going to see fuel. You're going to see once these bridges and roads get destroyed by tornadoes and floods and things that are coming, earthquakes, sinkholes. The supplies aren't coming.
Yeah,
right?
They're not going to be able to drive down here.
So it don't matter if there's a man at the Wichita Library dressed as a woman, and you think that's great. That's not going to matter when the whole thing comes collapsing down. You see what I'm saying?
I hear you, man.
Why do you got to live the songs that you wrote? Right? Hank, why do you drink? What? Right? There's a song like that. Why you got to live like the songs that you wrote? Okay, Miss KAPOW.
Next story.
This is your favorite story.
I don't like it. I think it's hateful.
I think she's...
But it's a warning to all men that anti-man-spreading campaign on Russian trains actually see female law students spray bleach onto crotches of offenders. Yep.
Now,
Anna, who's Russian, right?
Yeah.
She's 20, has been started splashing a mixture of water and bleach on the groins of men with their legs spread too far on the St. Petersburg metro.
Now, see, I don't believe this story at all. This is fake news.
Nuh-uh.
This is set up stuff. There's no way this gal can go up to total strangers. And plus, have you looked at who she's spreading this on?
Yeah.
They're not men. They're like boys. You can't go up there and she has a water bottle apparently filled with more bleach than you would use in laundry so that it creates a stain on the pants to show their shame. And this video shows her going up to these men who are riding the train and pouring water on their crotches because they're sitting with their legs spread. In real life, and I'm not trying to be violent or mean, but in real life, somebody would have clocked her upside her face.
Oh, good night, yeah.
Would have kicked her right in the
Well, like
gut.
this picture, there's like 4 guys there.
Yeah.
You think that they're not going to do something.
Yeah, and they're just sitting there watching
like,
it. So this is staged. It's staged BS. It's fake. It's phony. This gal, there's more to her. It says law student. Of course, it doesn't say anything about what she's studying or where she's studying, but it has half a dozen pictures of her that are half naked in a bathing suit. She's a model.
Yeah.
And she's in a swimming pool and she's showing her whatever, her assets all over the place. So it's kind of like, look at me, look how pretty and sexy I am. Oh my God, I'm going to pour bleach on your crotch for man spreading. Mm-hmm. It's hypocritical BS. It's designed to make people divisive. It's designed to separate the genders and create this false, Hegelian dialect is what it is. I see right through it. It's phony news, but it's interesting anyway to see how they do it.
It's disgusting.
Yeah. Well, apparently, she started splashing a mixture of water and bleach onto the groins of men with their legs spread too far. And in this video, she says the solution is 30 times more concentrated than a mixture used by housewives when doing laundry. Well, right there, isn't that sexist? Mm-hmm. You just said that housewives do laundry.
Yeah.
I think you're sexist, Anna.
Exactly.
I think you don't understand. Okay, so then it eats colors in the fabric in a matter of minutes. It leaves indelible stains. And there's a picture of this guy, and it looks like he's asleep. He has a hoodie on, and he's asleep, and his legs are probably spread about 6 inches, just normal. And there's no one sitting next to him. He's not bothering anybody. He's just like leaning up. And it shows her pouring this bleach on his crotch.
Mm-hmm.
Right. She's also accused man-spreaders of a disgusting act that is being fought around the world, but hushed up here. Fought with the world.
Oh, brother. It's so stupid.
Yeah.
It just makes me. Ugh.
See, it is designed. It's designed for that. I mean, there's nobody in the world.
It doesn't make sense. You know what I mean?
That doesn't understand that men have plumbing on the outside, women have plumbing on the inside. That outside plumbing needs room.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
anyway, there's a bunch of pictures of her looking all sexy, and she's in a bathing suit. She's just probably on this, she's in the pool. And she considers herself a social activist.
Yeah.
And she claims that the bleach stains are identification spots to immediately understand which body part controls the behavior of these men, damn it.
Yeah.
Oh, and she claims to be acting on behalf of everyone who has had to endure the manifestations of you, men, declaring your macho qualities on public transportation.
Yeah.
And
Idiot.
then right under that, there's a picture of her coming out of the pool with shimmering, water on her buttocks. And
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, she's not very conservative with her clothing, I'll tell you that much.
No. But she's smart enough to get on the news and get her stuff on.
Yeah.
No.
She's a rising star, she is.
She is. Let's see. The Russian news outlet Rosbolt claimed the video is fake. It's fake. It's phony as a $2 bill.
But Anna says it's absolutely real.
Yeah, it's absolutely real. The video itself is real because you staged it to be real. But what you're doing is fake. You wouldn't last 2 minutes. I don't care how pretty you are. Mm-hmm. There's not dudes who are going to sit there and just let you do that. She also revealed that no one sued her so far.
Yeah, she says, I don't think people are going to go to the police to file a report about jeans.
Really? You're pouring a caustic solution on a person's body.
Yes.
Right? That's I don't know in Russia, but here that would be a felony. Assault with a caustic chemical be a felony. And no one said anything. No one's had you arrested.
Yeah, I don't think so, girlfriend.
No. She ain't riding trains around here, that's for sure. Here's the sad part of this whole story, Ms. KAPOW. This is what made me sad. At the bottom, there's a picture of Hillary Clinton, and Vladimir Putin.
Yep. Oh, he looks all relaxed.
He's relaxed, but look at he's man spreading.
I know.
He has a spread, I would say, of a good foot and a half.
I guess so.
I mean, you can't really drive a Mack truck through there, but
But Hillary said that he was guilty of showing the whole deal.
Yeah. And here she is sitting with her little legs crossed, all feminine and proper. Here's Putin showing the whole deal to her.
Yep.
Just sad. And that's why he's the leader of Russia and she's not.
She's not a leader of anything.
She's not a leader of anything. But he's the leader of Russia. And he was showing the whole deal.
Oh, yeah.
He's nasty. Should I take a commercial?
You know what? That would be a good idea.
Okay.
I want to tell you about a project called Mesquite Cafe. Mesquite Cafe is a blues band, and their latest musical release is called Time's End. These songs are about dissatisfaction with the current world systems, hope in ultimate salvation, and warnings about apocalyptic destruction coming to the planet. Some of the song titles include 1133 Blues, No Satisfaction, World's Not My Home,
Well, I was angry yesterday and mad as hell tonight. This world's going crazy and it just ain't right now. I'm hating you
The Fire Down Below,
with only one thing in common. Got the fire down below. Happened Las Vegas, happened in Moline, or the blood streets of Fort.
and All That's Left Now.
All that's left now. There's no time to breathe. With that mountain made of fire, keep swimming down on you and me.
There is a total of 9 songs on this release. Time's End by Mesquite Cafe can be found at digital music stores such as Apple Music, Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, YouTube, Amazon, Pandora, Napster, iHeartRadio, and many others.
Yeah, we're back. You know, I played that commercial, about Time's End. Did you hear that female narrator on that?
Yeah.
Wow. She
I
sounds hot.
That's very sexist.
Well, as long as she doesn't walk
Hashtag
around.
me too.
That's funny. Oh, that was so funny. We were working out in the gym, and we have this acquaintance that works out there, and he's funny. He's kind of like he could be a stand-up comedian.
Oh, good night.
If you wanted
He is
to,
funny.
but he doesn't do it on purpose. It's just his.
He's just funny.
He's funny, and he's kind of like a Tim Allen kind of a guy. He's a man's man, and he's conservative, and this stuff just roils him, right? So we're working out, and they have the TV on, and they shouldn't have it on news, but they do, and they have that Kavanaugh, hearings and stuff, and so he's just livid, and so he's talking about that and blah 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 blah. So at the end, as we were leaving, Miss KAPOW goes up to him. She goes, "I got something for you, Dave." And he's like, "What?" And she taps her shoulder a couple times and says, "Hashtag me too." His face, boy.
It's pretty funny.
Oh, it was amazing. Oh. Yeah, we love the guy, but we like messing with him.
Well, he started it.
Yeah, he did start it. Let's see here.
But that's what makes him fun, because he has a great sense of humor.
Yeah, he's hilarious. He doesn't even know it. One of those guys that doesn't even know how funny he is. USA Today. This is a horrible, horrible story. I hate. Oh, this is terrible. I don't
Yeah.
I don't understand it.
I know.
USA Today.
Oh, go ahead.
number of babies born with syphilis has more than doubled since 2013.
That's terrible. I tell you what.
Here in America. Are you serious? More than doubled since 2013? Syphilis? There's so much here. I mean, I don't understand. Women are giving birth to these babies, giving them syphilis.
Yep. Yep.
And you don't know what you have it?
Oh, they know.
Well, yeah, I mean, what do you expect in a country that promotes perversion, sexual perversion, from the earliest ages on? When you have a country that has social media tech giants that promote sexual perversion, when you have drag queens and libraries talking, what do you expect? But these newborn babies, they don't have anything to do with this.
Mm-mm. That's what makes it sad.
Good Lord.
I feel bad for the innocents.
Yeah.
You know, the innocent, like the babies. I feel bad for the elderly. I really feel bad for the animals because they have no say. They're vulnerable. They have no power against this. You know, look at this little baby. Gets born. What does that have to do with anything? Why does that baby have to have this syphilis thing?
Yeah. This parent.
Because this parent didn't take care.
Yeah. Well, apparently it's more than doubled since 2013. And that's from the CDC. Mm-hmm. It's a trend that medical professionals are freaking out over. And they said it shows the need to be vigilant about testing and treating the rare but potential disease. Really? That's the answer. Huh?
They're idiots, too.
Let's just treat it and throw a Band-Aid on it. It's not the people. It's not the people. It's the disease. It's not the people. It rose. The number of babies born with syphilis rose from 362 babies in 2013, right? And that's too many. Nationwide. To 918 in 2017.
Boop. Bomb.
Wow. The greatest number of cases were in the South and in the West. I don't know why. Let's see. Syphilis is passed on to the fetus during pregnancy or to the babies during birth. Mm-hmm. Now, it could cause miscarriage. It could cause stillbirth, newborn death. Syphilis caused 77 stillbirths or newborn deaths in 2017.
See, and this thing could be easily cured.
Yeah.
With penicillin.
Yeah.
Some antibiotic.
Yeah, it's not an incurable.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, in other words, you don't take care of it. You don't care about your baby. And now you've exposed your baby to this horrible, dirty disease.
Sexually transmitted disease. Apparently, if the kid does survive, it can lead to all kinds of physical
it can go
and mental
blind.
health problems. Good Lord. Wow. Of course, this director of the National Coalition of STD Directors. Did you know we have that?
I didn't know that.
We have a National Coalition of Sexually Transmitted Disease Directors. Well, that's a heck of a job to have.
Yeah, and apparently they're failing the American people.
Yeah. Yeah, they're failing pregnant women.
And babies. They're failing babies.
That's amazing. Apparently, here in the U.S., we've had more HIV transmission from mothers to newborns. They say that's extremely rare, in part through the federal Ryan White Part D program. What the heck is that? It funds community programs that provide care to pregnant women with HIV. No, that's not why. The why is because HIV is a gay male thing. Yeah, it's passed on to everybody, but it's gay male. STDs are everybody's nastiness. Mm-hmm. That's why. So anyway, they're saying that these pregnant women should be tested for syphilis as early as possible, later in their pregnancies. Yeah, they don't know. There's no symptoms, right?
Yeah.
Mothers of 1 of 3 babies born with syphilis in 2016. Now check this out. According to CDC, 1 in 3 babies born with syphilis in 2016, the mothers were tested during pregnancy. Mm-hmm. But they were either infected after getting tested or they were not treated in time to prevent passing infection to the baby. Interesting.
Very.
It's hard to imagine that to be tested and go, you got syphilis. Oh, well, we didn't treat you.
Mm-hmm.
Or you don't have syphilis, you're clean, and then they go out and get it.
Yeah.
They're pregnant. Wow, nasty.
Nasty.
Louisiana ranked first with 93.4 cases for every 100,000 births. Okay, Louisiana, you be some nasty people.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
That's great.
37 states reported cases in 2017, and 93.4 of those cases were in Louisiana.
Fuji people.
Every case of syphilis should be preventable, said Dr. Rebecca G. She's from Louisiana.
In every case of syphilis should be preventable. Then why don't you do something about it?
Well, she's worked hard to reduce the number of new cases, she says.
No, I don't believe her.
Yeah. Oh, man. Louisiana requires doctors to test pregnant women for both syphilis and HIV in the first and third trimesters. The health department has also assigned case managers to Baton Rouge, Shreveport. They work to raise awareness. Well, you can raise awareness all you want, but if these people are just out there doing dirty, what are you going to do?
Exactly. Yeah.
What are you going to do? Now, this is amazing, too. Arizona. They say that congenital syphilis, it's a growing problem.
Yeah.
In Arizona.
Yeah.
Arizona has 36 cases so far in 2018. They've already surpassed last year's total.
See, that's nasty.
6 little babies have died
That's
shortly
not right.
after birth this year. That's in Arizona. California, don't tell me Cuckoofornia is involved in this. They had the most cases of congenital syphilis in the nation.
No.
Yes.
Say it's not so.
Yes, and the third highest rate according to the CDC.
Oh.
One of the state's biggest challenges is reaching people who don't have access to prenatal care.
Oh, for the love of pizza.
Oh,
That
yeah.
is a total lie.
You know what they need to do is raise taxes over there. Raise taxes and that'll do it.
Ay.
Oh, man. Oh, you know what? Some of the common barriers are poverty and unstable housing. Yeah. No, it's
That's
being
not
nasty. It's just you keep having sex with other nasty people and you have no sense of yourself or morals, and you've lost all reasonableness. You've lost all wisdom.
Yep.
Come on.
Come on.
Anyway,
Stupid.
outside of that, I can't complain. But that just irritates me because of the babies.
Well, yeah.
The adults
You're
want to do it. Have at it. The babies. It's
I don't like that.
Okay. Divers earthquakes.
Davos earthquake.
That's what Messiah said would happen in the days prior to the sun going dark, moon shutting out, stars falling, and when the sign of the Son of Man is seen, then it is over. Over. So we got volcanic eruptions, we got sinkholes, the earth is trembling, crackling, breaking all over. But Krakatoa went off a couple of days. Krakatoa.
Yeah, that was pretty scary.
Yeah. So, sheesh. Gosh, I think 2 days ago there was like half a dozen volcanoes going off at the same time all around the globe. Amazing. I'm looking at a world map, and the earthquakes.
Hey, mine.
85. Let's see. In the last 7 days. This is just counting. Now, I'm not counting the little small guys. This is 4.5 and up. In the whole world plus the U.S. In the last 7 days, there were 77 of 86 earthquakes, 4.5 and above in the last 7 days.
Wow.
Are they real big and strong yet? No. But they're increasing more and more.
Yep.
You can see it all over the place. I'm not going to read all 80 of them for you, but they're all over the place. 5.1 in Rutong, China. 4.9 Hunter New something. 5.2, Panguna, Papua. 4.6, now go Japan.
Oh, and Japan has been hit hard.
Yeah.
With earthquakes, flooding. Yeah.
4.8, Kuril Islands. 4.8, Tanaga. You see what I'm saying? They're all over the place. 4.1, Sumalaka, Indonesia. 4.1, San Isidro, Philippines. It goes on and on. 5.0, Southern East Pacific Rise. Indonesia, all over. 5.0, Manakorai, Indonesia. And Indonesia's just getting it handed to them.
And 4.5 in Calama, Chile.
There is a 4.9 in Vanuatu, a 5.7 in Fiji. It goes on and on. I mean, there is 85 in the last 7 days. And you look at the world map, and it's all around the Ring of Fire.
Yeah. Well, that Calama, Chile, it shows here that they had 2 earthquakes in one day, one in the morning and then one in the afternoon. And they were
Really?
both 4.5.
Well, Calama, Chile. Wow. Quite a bit. Insane. Mexico, Japan, Colombia, Fiji, a bunch of them.
Fiji. Yeah, and they had that big one a while
Russia.
back. Remember?
Yeah. Yeah, it was just that happened to be deep. So that's from the U.S. Geological Society website. And all I did was set the settings for the last 7 days of 4.5 or greater globally. That's it. And boom. Yeah. 75 of 86 earthquakes were 4.5 and greater. What does that tell you?
Yep. Or like Russia on the 22nd had 2 earthquakes on the same day. The earliest one was a 5.0, and then the second one was, and it was just minutes after each other, 4.6.
Jeez.
Yep.
Those are pretty good, strong hits.
Yeah, Mexico is another one that's getting hit hard.
It's just globally, and you can just waiting for the coast here, the California coast. That's coming, man. Man, that's coming.
When.
Oh, that's a big faults there. Wow. Yeah. Anyway, it's happening. I mean, I'm not making this stuff up. It really is happening all over the place. All right.
Yeah.
So, what do you think?
Well, I think that was the last story.
I think it was. And shall we go?
Ciao, babies.
Good night.